North Carolina has a number of water problems that need attention. Now we have problems such as non-point pollution, which comes from runoff from streets and parking lots, also from agriculture. And these are harder to control because they don't come out of one pipe, so it's not as easy to treat them. And of course, as North Carolina continues to develop, that means that we're going to have more roads, more parking lots, more roofs, more impervious surfaces. And so that produces more stormwater runoff, which carries directly into the stream. Oil that's left on parking lots, animal droppings, chemicals that are spilled around our houses and businesses. And so just by our growth in population, that means that we are having a bigger impact on the environment, even if we're being careful. That just means we have to be more careful. Water is not that complicated. People understand waterways, they understand how important it is to have healthy waterways, they understand where pollution comes from. And so we're fortunate that all across North Carolina we have lots of groups that are working to protect water quality. I think of one in particular over in Durham, focused on Ellerbe Creek. Ellerbe Creek is an urban stream that's right there in Durham. It's subject to all the runoff from streets and other kinds of pollution that a city develops. And over the years, a strong group of environmental volunteers has come together to try to protect Ellerbe Creek, and they've taken on different kinds of challenges, cleanup of litter, trying to prevent pollution sources that they discover. And so it's really been very inspiring to see how much progress they've made with a stream that really did need some help. It's good that it has some friends.
My name's Ian Pond. I work in warehousing and distribution, but I'm also in my free time a keen kayaker, flat water and whitewater. This is called Big Sweep. Big Sweep is a North Carolina-wide event and it's focused on cleaning up creeks and rivers, but it's a statewide event that is executed at a local level. So what they look for are teams of volunteers to tackle a particular stretch of their creek or their river that runs through their neighborhood. In this case, what we're doing here today is we're tackling a stretch of Ellerbe Creek, which originates in Durham. It flows into Falls Lake. In Falls Lake is the source of drinking water for the city of Raleigh. Ellerbe Creek happens to be the most polluted inflow into Falls Lake. So the biggest challenge we have when we clean up here at the trestle is we're about half a mile away from the nearest road. That makes it very difficult to get the trash out. So the way in which we've tackled that is to say, well, we'll bring our own boats down and we'll use the boats as trash barges. To do that, we put in on Red Mill Road, which is about a mile upstream. We paddle downstream, towing other skiffs behind us. Then we do the trash collection here and head back. What you see as you come downstream is all the storm water runoff from the city of Durham in the trash that it brings, just littering the sides of the creek all the way down. This is trash, polluted trash. There's all sorts of things down there. There's petrol cans, there's cigarette lighters, there's spray cans, there's paint tins, there's all sorts of things. They're flowing through Ellerbe Creek, they're flowing into Falls Lake, and Falls Lake is the source of drinking water for the city of Raleigh. And we just need to stop that happening. Here today we have residents of Northgate Park, we have members of Ellerbe Creek Watershed Association, We have Chapel of the Cross from Chapel Hill, who've come down with their own canoes and about a dozen people. And we've got a few volunteers just from other places who've seen the publication of big sweep events and have said, I'd like to come out and help.
Heck yeah. These trestles are fun to walk on. I heard about this on a local mailing list, one of the local neighborhood mailing lists. I heard about this, I signed up. Yeah, there used to be another train trestle. This is the new trestle. There's an old trestle right downstream. They've demolished the actual trestle. You can see the two halves of it on both sides. But there's a lot of debris there, and we barely got through because Ian was actually pulling me on this little tiny boat with all the supplies on it. He was like, he was pretty much pulling me. Oh. And the boat got stuck on all that debris. So I had to get out of the boat with my boots and stand on the log underwater and actually push the boat across and then get back in the boat.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I think it's a selling point that this is a drinking water supply, and it sounds good, but really I just want to keep everything clean. I would like to see people not throw trash in the first place. For me, it's part of a bigger thing that I want everybody to think about. It's not just North Carolinians, and it's not just about the water. It's about the fact that when you live, you take resources, you do something with them, and something is going to go into your waste stream. Just to think about it. So sometimes you buy a can of soda or a beer and then you drink it, and then your waste might be the can, which is a bunch of aluminum, and I think there's a plastic lining inside. The point is, how you deal with it is up to you. You could just leave it on a train trestle or just throw it somewhere. If you throw it somewhere, it's going to end up somewhere.
But I'm observing. And
people stash a lot of things in here. McDonald's cup, tons of bottles. Monster energy drink.
Okay, well, this is starting to look a little better.
When I take trash out, I usually do it visibly. I actually take out huge trash bags and I put them out there. People are like, look, this is how much trash I've taken literally out of the creek or off this trail or off the side of this road. If I want to encourage other people to do this, and I'm not doing it, that's not a very strong position to be in. I'd rather be doing it and invite people to do it with me.
40, 50 people. We've had work at 100 people. Ellerbe is the most urban of all of our streams in this area. So Ellerbe has 55,000 people living within walking distance of it. When I first came to work here in Ellerbe Creek, I had a woman call me from one of the neighborhoods, and her child wanted to play in the creek, and she called me to ask me if it was safe. And I had to tell her. I had to give this long answer with lots of scientific words in it, and I hated that answer. And essentially the answer was, sometimes. And that's not really the answer I want to give people, right? I want to be able to tell people that, yes, this is a clean creek. It used to be dirty, but we cleaned it up. And now your kids can play in it. So, I mean, to me, that's probably the most powerful story, is that when you think of the joys of the world and what kids want to experience, wanting to just, something so simple as just wanting to go down and play in the creek, becomes difficult if we are trashing our streams.
Ellerbe Creek flows through Northgate Park, through the park itself and through the neighbourhood. And I just had a hankering one day to say, well, if it flows through the neighbourhood, I want to see where it enters Falls Lake. And here at the trestle, I was just stunned to see a gigantic trash island that was caught in timbers that have floated against the trestle. And what they did is they form a strainer where the water can flow through, but everything solid gets held. And there was a trash island bigger than the footprint of a family home. And when you see something like that, frankly, it's so staggering, you can't really not do something about it. So as we came down here, we literally had to paddle through that trash island in order to get to this point. And it's like paddling through the contents of an upturned trash can. Everything imaginable is there. Kids' diapers, plastic bottles, cans, an old tricycle, beer bottles, you name it, it's all there. Shopping bags, food containers, polystyrene, foam. the whole gamut. So when we move back upstream from here, what we're going to do is start cleaning the creek. We'll fill the kayaks and the canoes, we'll bag it up. As soon as the canoes are completely full, we'll have to call that a day for them. We'll then take those bags back up to Red Mill Road, and we've tied in with Durham's Solid Waste Division, who are going to do a trash collection for us on Monday and clear the bags away. Big sweep only takes place once a year. Once a year cleaning for this creek is not enough. So in April or May of each year, we do an event that we've called Little Sweep. It's completely independent of the state. It's just a group of enthusiasts who want to keep Ellerbe Creek clean. When we did Little Sweep this year, we collected 96 bags of trash from this one site. And that was basically 6 months. And we're here again today doing it again. It's sad to say there's plenty of trash for any number of volunteers to come here and be productive picking up.
So it's really up to us. Everybody who's concerned about the environment and about water needs to find a way that they can get involved in one or another of these ways, maybe several of them.